Yo, what's up, Mayank?
Yo, what's up, Abhinav? How's it going, man?
What's up? I'm good, man. Welcome everybody to tonight's live. We're on number 13, and tonight we're going to be talking about a bunch of interesting stuff. So, welcome everybody. Let's get a quick what's up in the chat. We're going to put a few messages on screen. Meanwhile, let me quickly share this to Instagram.
What's up, folks? So, to all those who are new to this is Whiteboard Live. This is a weekly show that Abhinav and I do, where we talk about design, product, and other creative things that we're up to. Lately, we've been discussing about our Whiteboard website, which we designed live for 3 sessions, over 3 live sessions. And after that, we started talking about, last week, we went back to the basics of it when we spoke about levels in UI UX design. So let's see what we're going to be talking about today.
Folks, so any guesses? Any guesses to what tonight's session is about? Let's see if somebody can actually get it, because I don't think it's that difficult. But let's see. So let me reveal it to you. Tonight we're going to be talking about a little bit about the future of this channel, and we're going to, in general, then take a bunch of Q&A. So this is going to be a very chilled out session. We don't have a very solid topic, but we're going to just keep it open, and we're going to keep talking. How's your week, Mayank?
Man, my week's been good actually. Been working on the Whiteboard website, not taking too much overhead on it, like not having this thing on my mind that I have to complete it ASAP. Doing it slowly and steadily, taking my time. Almost done with the front end actually. Was talking to you about it yesterday that I need to start working on the CMS part of it. And so that was about Whiteboard. And also, so now for those who don't know, right now I am currently reaching out to the industry mentors that we have in our cohort 2, and I'm going to be interviewing them for Whiteboard. So I was planning and scheduling things with them as well. So working along those lines, I am as well for one of our teams at the cohort, second cohort of masterclass. So I was giving them feedback as well. So this is what my work has been lately towards 10K, and the rest towards cred and so on and so forth.
You want to tell people a little bit about people who don't know? So you're one of the mentors for the 10K Designers Masterclass.
Right.
On the mentoring side of things, how's the experience been so far? Like maybe just this week you can talk about.
It's good, man. So one advantage is that one good thing which has happened compared to previous cohort, I feel, is that the fact that we have teams, because of which there are 2 layers of learnings, right? You're learning within team and you're learning between teams. So you're learning within your own team with your team members, you're collaborating, whether you have individual task or a team task. If you have an individual task as well, you compare with each other or you take learnings from each other. And when you're working and when you're seeing across team members, you're seeing how are they learning things from their mentors. So in a way, as a mentor, for me, it's also a way to see what expectations do my team members have. Such that what they want to learn, I give that to them. And it's not that they wanted to learn something else, but I'm giving them something else. And there isn't a sync.
Yeah, man, definitely. There is definitely a lot of nuance involved with leadership and mentoring, especially when you're trying to scale a mentorship system. That's one thing I've found with the current mentors. So my week as well, I've been working, or actually thinking mostly, on a couple of changes we're going to be making, just on a very tactical level, which is how do you enable people who are experienced to be better mentors. So this is something that we haven't publicly revealed. I'll say it on this live stream, but it's still under wraps. But we are working on a small side program, like a parallel cohort along with this, which is a design leadership cohort, where we have a bunch of experienced designers, people from Unacademy, Hotstar, Uber, a bunch of places. And we're trying to figure out a leadership program. So like packed into a couple of weeks. So that technically is going on as well. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. We've been conversing about it, so I have an idea of it. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Which also gives, um, so that's the thing, right? Initially
Mm.
started with 10K designers cohort, where we are teaching folks about design, product, and everything that's there in the industry. And from there, you're like you said, right? You're thinking of other cohort programs as well, like a design leadership program
Yeah.
in different other cohorts that is something that you would not get to learn on anywhere else of sort,
Mm.
or that is not collated or compiled comprehensively in a proper manner
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
which is a good approach because I wouldn't say you're making a digital university, but in a way you're also creating a separate category of content and
Yeah.
skills that people did not know existed.
Mm. I
Yeah.
think at some level, it's about running experiments. That's what I'm mostly doing, which is 10K designers, for the people who've been following know this, there wasn't always this cohort-based program. There were a bunch of other things that we were planning as well,
Right.
um, that could have become the main thing. But it's usually a matter of when there's so many opportunities, you can do so many different things. How do you decide what exactly it is? Whether that's, when you're starting something new or when you're self-learning. And the best way is typically to do a couple of experiments. The one that shows most promise, you go ahead with that. Because you can never know whether you're right or wrong. You can only know how the experiment worked and whether it looks like it might be a success. So I would say with some of the new cohorts that we're thinking about, which is outside of just plain UI UX design, like design leadership is a separate cohort that we're running the prototype of right now. Next year we might actually do a public launch. Don't know for sure yet, but it's definitely an experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, super excited about that though, knowing that since I'm also going to be a part of learning and from it. So yeah,
Yeah.
what's up, folks? I don't see a lot of questions from you guys. Drop your questions. Drop what ideas do you have? What are you looking for?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a general Q&A, and then we're gonna have some prompts tonight as well, which is we're trying to figure out with whiteboard.fm what is the future that we want. What are some of the things that we can be doing differently?
Yeah,
Which is to give you some background, we're currently at like 120 videos or something. That comes out to about maybe how many interviews? Is that 20 interviews? 25.
we've had around 25, 26 interviews.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of hours of content. So YouTube growth, that's not something we're too worried about right now. I think YouTube growth is sort of slow and steady. We're trying to figure out what else we can do. So for example, I see one comment here by Monish which says, any thoughts about starting workshops? We have been thinking about it because it's not like we want to do workshop just for the sake of doing workshop, but we know that we now have this audience who is interested in leveling up in different parts of design. It's not just UI UX design from scratch. It's things like freelancing. It's things like how do you build personal brand. Thing like how do you practice design, which is very different from learning design. There's things like interviewing. So there's a lot of different types of things, and we are thinking about workshops, but not sure yet. Not 100% sure about that. Yeah.
Ashish is asking, preparing any free course for Avalon Meta?
Avalon Meta, we definitely are going to be doing some more experiments. Again, these are all going to be experiments in the sense that there's nothing 100% finalized yet. But Avalon, right now, they've got a 3D design and graphic design cohort coming up. This is going to be taught by Ibadat. So I might be doing a couple guest sessions as part of that. But beyond that, I don't have there's no pro league for myself. Like there's no UI UX design pro league for Avalon Meta yet coming up for that. So we're thinking about what's best. But right now, I think the focus is mostly what's next for Whiteboard And then for 10K designers, there's a bunch of stuff happening, including the design leadership um, experiment, the experimental cohort. So we've actually got about 7 or 8 people for it. So it's actually a very small cohort. It's 8 people. That's it, like 8 people in a cohort. So when we publicly launch it, I think it'll probably stay small, but we don't know. So it's just the experiment that we're doing right now. There's a lot more to be revealed. I don't want to 100% tell you right now, but it is going to be a collaboration between us, so Mayank and I, and then also we're going to have somebody else joining us. I don't want to reveal right now, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Folks, I want to know a couple of things from you guys as well regarding Whiteboard. Is that what type of content are you looking for more, or are you expecting from Whiteboard? Considering we've had interviews, we've had in interviews, we've segregated and created, repurposed the interviews to create more content like case studies, hiring processes, or design college reviews, and so on and so forth. So what is left is what I'm trying to figure out as well lately. That what more could possibly be used in Whiteboard.fm or be shown, like given to the viewers as Whiteboard.fm, which you feel is not covered yet.
Yeah.
Because I feel hence now onwards, like majority of the content that would be created, there's a high chance of it being repetitive, right? Like you could see 2 to 3 interviews which would be very similar, and you would just feel like just watching one of them, and the effort to response or the
ROI.
ROI wouldn't be enough.
Definitely. We have been thinking about that. I don't think we have a solid answer for it yet. But one direction we've been thinking about, and you all can tell me if this sounds interesting. One of the things we figured out while interviewing all these people from Whiteboards is the interview process for a lot of companies, and specifically Indian companies. So that is some insight that we have that technically nobody else has. We've figured out what kind of process people have at companies, but then also what kind of design problems that they ask, what kind of whiteboarding assignments do they have. So one direction we have been thinking about is if we can do some sort of repository of design challenges. I don't know what to call it. Design challenges, or you can call it. So the way I'm thinking about it is, imagine when you want to work out, you go to the gym and you do your routine, right? So typically, if you're working on your body, you go to the gym and you have this typical routine that you do, which you keep tweaking. If you're a musician, there's scales that you practice. Been thinking about what's the equivalent for design, which is how exactly do you practice design. And we've been thinking about putting together some sort of resource. I don't think it'll be an online course, but some sort of resource where you have a bunch of these challenges, a bunch of these problem statements, a lot of these problem statements from these interviews we've talked about. And this can be a way for you to practice design, which is not just practice privately, but also use this as your case study projects. Also use this as experience for while you're interviewing, you get whiteboard tasks and everything. So this gives you a practice of that. Yeah, so that's one direction we're thinking about.
What do you guys think? Drop what you guys think in your comments. Let us know whether this is a good idea or not regarding what Abhinav mentioned, and also what do you feel could be added more in Whiteboard.fm, or what is missing. Whiteboard task sounds amazing. Monish Reddy.
Yeah, we're thinking about calling it design gym. Like that's an idea we've been thinking about, which is what is the equivalent of going to the gym to practice and get better for design. So we're thinking about what exactly that looks like. Let's take a few questions. Sahil asked, what's the design leadership program? What's the criteria? It's going to be a similar cohort to the 10K designers cohort. It's going to be shorter though. It's not going to be a 12-week program. And we're trying to do this as an experience for people who want to get into design management and design leadership. Typically, most design leaders we've spoken to, they've accidentally gotten into it, which is they got a chance somehow, and then they've taken that shot and gone ahead. There seems to be a lack of resources, especially India-specific resources, on how do you manage a design team? How do you hire for a design team? What are the roles and responsibilities of a design leader? How do you transition from being an individual designer to applying for design leadership roles? Whether that's design manager, lead designer, head of design, things like that. So that's what it's going to be about. The criteria, we're still thinking about it, but since it's a very small cohort, we're going to be very selective. And it's probably going to be, you need at least about 2 or 3 years of experience working at a product company. Because a lot of stuff we're going to be teaching is going to be very context dependent to how things work. So you would need design experience already to be a part of that. But let's see, it's still a little while away. Want to take some questions, Mayank? Anything looking interesting to you? I say a bunch of generic questions. We might take them. I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Is this more like a design MBA? I don't think so. I think you're referring to the leadership program. So Abhinav might be able to give a better answer for this.
I'm not sure, dude. I don't want to say that name, design MBA, because I'm not 100% sure whether that's exactly what it's going to be. But it's going to be some sort of executive leadership program for design leaders. I don't know if it's like an MBA or not.
I think calling it executive leadership is right. It's more appropriate than design MBA because I think in MBA itself revolves more around management is a part of it, but there are a lot of other aspects that come like marketing, finance, and so on and so forth, which is something that would not be covered as a part of the leadership program, I'm assuming. So it would be more like an executive leadership program, but not like an MBA probably.
Yeah. What do you think about
mock interviews?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. But this Anurag's question really struck me because a lot of designers ask on forums how to improve UI. Yeah. The answer is usually things like daily UI. That's something he didn't mention, but daily UI is what practice today looks like. And if you ask somebody, very likely they're going to say daily UI. Not necessarily because they know daily UI works, because there's no alternative to daily UI.
Correct.
For that, dude. There's no alternative to daily UI. And we know daily UI is bad because you keep doing it, you don't feel a sense of progress because they're very random, disconnected tasks. And problem with daily UI is also you can't use it for case studies. That's the thing. You can't use daily UI for case studies because when you show that to an employer, they'll be like, what are you trying to solve? And you can't say I'm designing a checkout screen just because the prompt said checkout screen, right? The prompts for daily UI are also very similar that way. They're like calendar, sign up, login, onboarding, profile. And I feel like maybe that is useful, but it's not a good way to train.
True. Man, I feel in such cases, the tasks that we are thinking of collating and creating as a resource would be very helpful because nowadays when you're applying for a UI UX design role, a lot of folks now have started to merge both of them, UI and UX. There are very few places, at least as far as I know, mainly because I know product companies, not sure about agencies, but majority of the product companies that I know or startups that I know combine UI and UX roles. They look for both the kind of skills in a designer. And for that, as much as you need visual design skills, you also need problem solving skills. And that would only come by solving actual real problems or challenges. And once you solve those problems, on that, you can iterate and keep making its UI look better and make it visually look better. So I feel the design gym thing is a great idea. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if we should call it design gym though. We can discuss about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing, excited. I think I'm going to be starting to work on this,
Yeah.
and let's make this shit happen.
Yeah. So actually, I want to see some comments right now. The idea we're talking about right now is the idea of a design gym. What it is going to be is an alternative to daily UI, right? Not sure exactly what it's going to be, but daily UI is a way to practice UI, but also not the best way to do it. We want to see a way we can actually do some sort of daily UX or daily UI plus daily UX, and we're just calling that design gym for now. Any ideas on what we can include?
So while you guys are dropping about what we can include, I saw a comment by Anurag that for Whiteboard, I would personally love to see a format where design teams are featured. So it's, as much as it's a good prompt or something to think about, it's not very feasible given the current situation that we are in, number one. And second, featuring design teams also means getting an insight of the company, which is something that also comes under NDA in a lot of cases. So it would not be scalable for expecting each and every team or that is out there to be featured.
Let's think about it. If we had to feature design teams, what would be the best way to do it? Like, of course, one way to do it, amazing way to do it, would be actually an office tour where you get to see the
Exactly.
office, you
I
get
was
to
thinking along those lines.
talk to different people, and I think that would be amazing. But office tours right now, given the situation, not possible. So the next best thing, if we had to do featuring design teams, would be Zoom or something.
Right.
Um, Not sure how that would be. Hmm.
It would probably be like each team member introducing themselves and compiling all of those as a single video.
Yeah. No, I would love to see design office showcase, like a office tour.
Yeah.
Do that as an excuse to then talk to all the design members. But I think that's a very resource intensive thing, which is you actually have to travel to these offices and do it. Not a problem though. Like a lot of them are in Bangalore, we can totally do it. But given the situation, it'd be quite difficult. Yeah.
What is the best piece of equipment a UI UX designer can invest in? I don't think. I think
MacBook
the
Pro. MacBook Pro is my answer.
MacBook Pro. Yeah, MacBook Pro actually. True.
What do you think? You think there's something else?
I was going to say I don't think of any equipment because the tools are free. But if you had to consider a laptop, probably MacBook Pro. Like it just creates a different. Um, it just expands your mind. Honestly, in my opinion, like you realize there's so much more you can do, and you feel like you can explore a lot more,
Hmm.
and it just expands your mind. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I'm getting into a little mood lighting here. Yeah, my MacBook Pro is probably the best you can invest in. Besides that, the masterclass. That's your best investment right now. Hmm. I think that only thing that Daily UI doesn't teach is how to design developer friendly design. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things Daily UI doesn't teach. It's too, I mean, the concept when somebody came up with it, they were like, oh, fuck, this is great. But then, unfortunately, it's caught on in a way that it's not feasible anymore. It's not the best option.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel
There's
it
some-
was great when things were like when people were just starting off, or when UI UX was just coming out as a trend, like just starting off that okay, UI UX is something which is booming. But now that it's tending towards being something mainstream, like the level of skill that's required has also increased. So now daily UI doesn't really work anymore. You need to be more experienced and have a better skill set
Hmm.
and proof of work. I like the word. I like the word design workout.
There's
I
a
like,
design
yeah.
gym.
I like design workout more than design gym for sure.
Interesting. Okay.
So, folks, we're still waiting for your answers. Drop what you feel we can add to design workout apart from tasks that we have in mind. What more ideas do you feel we can compound towards design workout that you feel would help as a resource?
Hmm. A quick question. Just begin with Photoshop. Should I continue directly? Dude, you should not be asking this question. Switch immediately. Switch to Figma. Um, I would be surprised if you haven't seen this already, but there's a free crash course on my channel, so right here. So you can go check that out. Besides that, we are going to be doing something very interesting tomorrow. I feel like this is probably the best time to reveal it.
True.
I want to see. Okay, somebody mentioned the idea of workshops earlier, and we've been thinking about a way we can run a experiment for workshops. We have done some roughly, which are workshop like, but what we're going to be doing, I'm going to reveal it right now on the 10K designers Discord, which is, if you're here, you're probably a part of it already. If not, this is the link to join it. We're going to be doing a free workshop tomorrow night, which is Friday night, on Figma. We're going to be doing a basics of UI design Figma workshop tomorrow. So let me actually put some stuff up on the screen. I'll actually, you know what? I'll share the information right now. How do you register for it? Or I'll add it in the description actually. Let's continue talking. Let me just find the link and add it. But we're going to be doing a basics of UI design workshop tomorrow. So definitely do join that. Let me show you a quick preview of what that's going to look like. So we're going to be doing this with Rohan. Rohan has conducted a bunch of workshops before for the Avalon Discord, but he's going to be walking through entire Figma, how exactly to use it. This is going to happen tomorrow, 9 p.m. on Discord. So do join the link right now. I'm going to be sharing the registration link for this in the Discord right after this live session. So do check that out. If you're watching a replay of this much later, the link will be in the description as well. Yes. Can we have something more into design project management rather than hands-on? What would you, Mayank, what would you say is design project management exactly? According to you, what would you consider it to be?
I feel what by design project management, I mean, so the thing is, if I think on a company level, design and project management or product management are two very different things. But I think what Breach into Bliss is referring to is design, how do you manage your own design project? Like, how do you design that? Like, how should you organize things and how should you structure your design files in that sense? So I
Yeah.
feel we have discussed that, not in public though, that how to manage files or collate files. Actually, it is a part of the video, if I'm not sure, in the 10K designers community.
Yeah. But I don't know if
Right.
that's design management. That's project management. That's more of how do you organize Figma files? I'm thinking about whether there's room to do something around, like imagine a mix of productivity and design.
Right.
Just how do you, let's say, manage your freelance projects that you have? How do you manage the different projects you have in your company right now? How do you
Hmm.
create a collaborative project management kind of system to actually do that?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that could also be like another way of looking at it would also be in terms of design systems. because that is also kind of project management. Like all your design projects, you're managing them components wise, elements wise. But I think what Gautam here is referring to is what you're saying, that how to manage all your freelance projects and all your self projects and all your company projects, creating a system across all of that. So I think we could do that, but again, it would mostly be a part of the community, that is a training video or a cohort video. So yeah.
Do you think there's room, Mayank, to do something around productivity for designers? I've been thinking about this. I haven't 100% figured it out. What do you?
Right. We can do that. I think it's a good idea, productivity for designers, because productivity for designers, I feel, is not very different from productivity in entirety, because designers themselves do so many things. Productivity and being able to be mindful and manage things would be something really helpful.
Yeah.
Which is what I feel your videos, which you might create in the future, or based on what you've learned from building a second brain, would come in very useful.
My problem that I have with creating videos on productivity, I actually shot one. We should start editing it soon. It'll be out.
Yeah.
I started making it, and then I I realized like I felt a little weird making a video on productivity. Main reason was I'm not the most productive person I know. I know I know so many high achievers that are so much more productive than I am. So my view on productivity is more around how do you do less things rather than more things, which is how do you actually get your systems in place to figure out how to prioritize things, how do you mostly prioritization, and how do you get into that self-awareness of productivity.
Right.
Rather than trying to fit everything and do all the things, how do you actually do less things? So that was quite interesting. And then when I started thinking about it, I was like, is that traditional productivity? But I'm not sure, dude. I don't know. Yeah.
So either ways, wouldn't that be a good thing to try though, that seeing different forms of productivity, even if one way of productivity is something which you're doing, and if you think of, oh, there is another way which might be more efficient or is an equivalent, that could either we could discuss different forms of productivity, or select that one form of productivity and deep dive into it.
Yeah. Because I feel like productivity for designers is actually different from productivity for other fields. Right? Because in a lot of other fields, productivity is about, I think, how do you do the most? But the thing is with design, when creativity comes into place, creativity and productivity almost become like two opposite ends.
Right.
If you're 100% productive, it takes a toll on your creativity sometimes. Because to be creative, you actually need that mental room to breathe. And then when you get into that zone, then you automatically get into productive. So I feel like there's productivity and creativity. And then between these two, there's the idea of flow state as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't like 100% articulated my thoughts on this.
So I completely agree with the fact that creativity and productivity are on two separate ends, and that you need some mental space and room to, when you want to be completely creative, and if you're being completely productive, it takes a toll on your creativity.
Yeah.
That, yeah, man, I'm completely aligned on that. And another thing which I was going to say is that the reason why it's productivity for designers is also very different is because this, like I mentioned, right, a designer is not just one role. A designer actually is multiple roles: a copywriting role, a visual designer role, a UX designer role, so on and so forth. But they have versus other roles, I'm assuming, like a developer, for example. A developer codes, right, does development, but a developer does not take multiple roles.
I think there are, if you
Like,
zoom in enough, there
yeah,
are multiple roles. Like, for example, testing is one part of it. A lot of collaboration, that becomes a separate role. But I think one interesting way I'm thinking about this is also when you think about creativity and productivity, it seems like two opposite things, which is, this idea of left brain and right brain.
Right.
The creative brain, I don't know which one is which, I'm not remembering, but you have the creative brain and then you have the analytical brain. And I think that's a scam, bro. I don't think that's real.
Oh,
In the sense that there is a way to be creatively productive and productively creative. It's not two different things. It's two sides of the same thing. But I'm still thinking about what's the best way to put it across. I don't have a 100% articulation on this yet.
yeah. Productively creative and creatively productive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would start with like, I feel like you would also have to probably give yourself some more breathing room and then be like, okay, how can we segregate things?
Hmm.
Like take the, I'm not sure, I think it would be a top down approach instead of a bottom up approach. But yeah, that would like segregating and unbundling things would give a better idea on how to plan it out.
Because I feel with this topic, I already have the raw materials ready, which is I've thought about
Yeah,
it enough. It's just I haven't sat down and been like, okay, what's the best way to actually express this? So,
true.
you heard about UX hack, Mayank?
No, man, I haven't heard about UX hack.
Okay, I'll check it out. I think I might have seen this before. Um, but personally, I don't recall. I don't think it was great from what I remember. But we'll check it out. Yeah, I think they do have this idea of design challenges, but I
Hmm,
don't know enough, so I'll have to check that out.
true. Cool, folks. Drop your comments. Let us know what more ideas do you have, what more suggestions do you have. In the meantime, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I don't see enough likes as compared to the people who are watching right now. Let's get that number similar. And also tell us what you think about Whiteboard and what you're thinking about design workshops. Because with the thought process that I'm going, I had this discussion with Abhinav as well. We don't want to make Whiteboard as a content which is very redundant, right? We want every content to be unique in its own way. And once that's capped, we would have to move on to the next thing. And which is why we are having this live session and getting ideas so that we can brainstorm and see what can we do next. Because I feel Whiteboard has reached a place where we've done 120 videos, and that's a lot of content. Like you see any other Indian design YouTuber, I'm assuming, or even design YouTubers in general, who might not have this much content.
Yeah, I think what we'll have to do is either totally change what we're doing, like start doing tutorials and stuff,
Yeah,
or I think if we keep doing it, gets a little monotonous, bro. That's the thing. Yeah.
true, man. Also, I feel like, I don't know why, bro, you said that you feel like the growth of Whiteboard is going steady. I feel like it could grow a lot more. Like, I was hoping that it would reach at least around 5K by the end of this year.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. Folks, if you feel Whiteboard should have 5K subscribers,
I want to take bets,
you,
bro. I want to take
you have
bets
to,
for right now. People in the chat,
yeah,
by December 31st, how many subscribers are we going to have? Let's see who gets the closest. I've been doing this a lot. Bets for
yeah.
numbers. Yeah.
I wanted to reach 5K, honestly. If you feel it should reach 5K as well, you should share it with as many folks as possible. Subscribe, tell them to subscribe. This has to happen if you feel Whiteboard.fm is adding value. Otherwise, we might just move on to the next thing.
Yeah. In fact, we've been very serious about this, guys. It might seem like we're like, oh yeah, please subscribe, we're gonna stop. But we're actually
Yeah,
planning to stop. We're planning to stop these live streams, the Whiteboard Live. We have a number that we're trying to fix a number, like this is number 13. We want to say by number X we're gonna stop. interviews as well. I think we're close to wrapping up this season, and the next season we might make a really long break because we're not sure about what to do. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a solution to it though. I think we'll only have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Like we'll have to figure out what to do next. All the folks watching can feel free to drop comments, DM us with suggestions, and so on and so forth. But seriously, we are not being candid about this. We have to see Whiteboard.fm grow as subscribers and so on and so forth. Otherwise,
The thing is, I think
yeah,
the problem, right? It might feel people might be like, "What the fuck? Don't be lazy or whatever." But the problem is, it's getting a little boring. The reason is that we're not doing enough experiments on Whiteboard. Because when you do experiments, it gets interesting because there's something new you have to learn, and then you integrate that learning into your everyday stuff.
yeah,
But we haven't done enough like we are at a place where there are no experiments happening with Whiteboard. So we need to actually figure out experiments so that it can keep us going. Yeah.
true.
So I think that's the stage we're in. We're trying to figure out more experiments we can do to make it more interesting. What do you think about hackathons, Mayank?
Designers at hackathons. So
I have two ideas actually. Design hackathon is one, but I have one more idea I want to discuss with you after this. But yeah.
okay. I mean, hackathon's a good idea, but it would be a design hackathon, right? It would be solving
Yes.
problems, and solving problems using design. But what here we are thinking, so it would help in experiments, right? I feel it would help in experiments. Um, it might not help as a product or on a product level, right? So if you're considering as experiments for Whiteboard itself or like design problems type solutions, for sure, I feel it's a great idea.
Yeah.
But thinking about converting it out, because we are considering our main goal in the end is to convert it into a product, right? Whiteboard will be a product which will be a part of 10K designers, which is why we are making the website. So we will have to figure out a way how the outcome of the hackathon is towards products. Doesn't necessarily have to be Whiteboard, but it has to be towards products and not just solving problems as features or on a feature level.
Yeah. I think we can definitely do hackathons, but I don't know if we'll do a standalone hackathon or hackathon as part of something else.
Right.
Hackathon is a good idea, but I don't know. We'll have to figure out the format.
Yeah.
Another thing I was thinking, Mayank, what do you think about a design event? Can we do a whiteboard conference? A whiteboard virtual conference, a proper design event.
We can. It'll be like a one time
It
really,
won't be a physical conference, of course. Yeah.
yeah, it'll be a lot of effort, but I think it would be nice. Like one of the conferences I attended recently was Type Weekend, and I really like that format. It was pre-recorded videos that were shown, and at the end there was live Q&A by all the folks, and it was a 3 to 4 day conference on everything about typography. And I feel we could do something like that with proper planning.
A whiteboard event would be quite nice, actually. Yeah. A conference.
But again, that would be something like that once the conference is done, it's not like you're going to do another conference the next week.
It'll be like a few times a year max.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think we have a few ideas, dude. Number one is the design gym. Number two is the hackathon thing. I'm thinking hackathons could possibly be made a part of the design gym.
Yeah.
We can have one static component, which is just the problem statements. So problem statements to practice design, that's the design gym. And then we have gym events, which are then the hackathons that we can do, which are happening frequently.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. So we have that two-tier type of approach.
And the third thing is the conference.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to answer this question, which is what about featuring designers from other fields of design on Whiteboard? Mayank, you have an answer to this? I have a very good answer for this, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Man, I do not know many designers, other fields of designers that exist. Like, I do not know many industrial designers. I knew a healthcare designer, that is Aboli, whom we did interview and who was a part of Whiteboard. Rest, majorly, I just know UI, UX, and product designers.
My answer for this is that when you're feeling stuck with a project, rather than trying to do something else, you have to double down on one of the things you're already doing. Because this is something I've found with my experiences is when you have something already and instead of doubling down on it, you try to do something else. It's usually a bad idea because doing that new thing will require that setup time to actually get somewhere. And now you're like giving up on the momentum you have. So if we did do this, you know, other than design, we could also do developers. We could get developers on board, but it would be a change in focus. And I don't think this is the best time to do that.
True. Rohan Arora says we need Sneha Samson on Whiteboard, please. Bro, we have Sneha on
Already
Whiteboard.
happened, bro.
We have her interview.
Yeah.
This is very, yeah.
Damn, bro. Not a hardcore fan if you don't know this.
Yeah. Also, this adds to the point, right? That there's so much content already and people are not consuming
It's
it.
a little difficult to discover, I think, on YouTube by itself. Yeah. What do you think about the idea of deleting all the clips, man, from the channel?
Bro, let's do it. I'm up. I'm very serious. Let's delete all of it. Let's put it on the Whiteboard.fm platform like UI sources and let's play that game. I am very serious about this.
Okay, so let's play it out. How would it work? So right now we have 122 videos,
Right.
25 of which are interviews. Actually, 25 interviews, and then there's 13 to 15, 16 live sessions. And then there is clips.
Yeah.
So what we can do is we remove all the clips. It makes interview discovery much easier.
Correct.
But do we totally remove it, or do we move it to a separate YouTube channel, or just Instagram, or just the website?
Bro, Whiteboard website, and we'll play the UI sources kind of a game where
It's categories.
yeah, and exactly like, bro, why F what no man? Because because we don't have engagement on Whiteboard.fm. Think about it this way, right? We started in March and it's been 6 to 7 months. There have been around 25 to 30 interviews, 120 videos, and there are only 2.2k subscribers. Like, it's clearly something is not working out.
No, it's also because if you look at the clips, being very real with you guys, clips don't perform as well as the videos. Like there are clips with less than 100 views.
Exactly.
Right. So if we did, I think our average view count would go up if we removed all the clips. The main reason, bro, a lot of people love the clips, by the way.
Yeah.
Support for clips, please. This is your opportunity. But I think the reason we started clips was the thesis behind it was that it makes it easier. You don't have to watch the full thing, the small pieces of it. And these small pieces will start getting indexed by Google search recommendations, and it helps in the thing. But it hasn't actually played out. The hypothesis hasn't played out because if you look at other channels that do it, let's say Joe Rogan clips, they have separate channel for it. But other than that, we haven't had a situation yet where a clip has more views than the original video. That what that means is the original video is still the main thing. Clips,
Yeah.
even if people are enjoying it, I don't know if they're enjoying it that much.
Exactly. which is why I feel putting it on the website and making it exclusive is the right thing to do. I strongly feel that, and where there's a high chance we might do that if we don't reach the subscriber counts that we are
I don't
discussing.
think there's a condition, bro. I think we're either yes or no. I don't think it's conditional or anything.
Bro, yes, I am of the camp of yes. Like, I feel we should do that.
Yeah.
And folks, this is with all due respect to all you guys. The objective is to help everyone, but we should be able to help you guys, right? And we are not getting enough help to be able to help you guys.
I think it's also that as a designer, you have to make these difficult calls, which is, of course, everything you do will be useful to some people.
Yeah.
But if it's not useful to a good enough number of people, then we have to, we have to trim down. We have to refocus. What do you think about this, man? The international audience. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we have, and which is why in season 2, if you guys notice, like, okay, so season 1, season 2, season 3 are these models which are in our mind. But if you see the interviews after the 10th Whiteboard episode, from the 10th to the 20th episode, the majority of folks we have are international folks, and you like, because that's what we thought as well, that we are not getting, that we are selecting a X amount of size of a pie and not going after the bigger pie. But what we are not realizing here is that the pie that we already have, that is the Indian audience, in itself is huge. And instead of going after the bigger pie, if we cover the pie that we have itself, that would add a lot of value in itself. Like, I know, like, based on the videos that I've been putting out and the responses we've been getting, we have realized this, that Indian folks are getting a better response than international folks. Because the growth that we've seen in the recent episodes that we've uploaded from Darshan's onwards has had more reach and has had better growth than the interviews before them. So this hypothesis also is not exactly accurate.
Yeah, I think it's just, of course, it would be great for an international audience, but I think at this point it would mean doing more international interviews. And by more, I don't mean an equal 50-50. It would mean 100% international, right? And then it would take a few months, and then it would become more international. But I think, I don't know, I would prefer keeping that Indian focus, mostly because there isn't enough Indian content.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My mind on this might change later. What do you think about other types of videos? Which is, right now, most of our stuff are interviews. They're the kind of stuff you can just listen to as well. You think there's other types of videos we should do? You think we should start getting into tutorials and shit?
Man, tutorial is like I feel it's already very saturated, man. You've got every other YouTuber creating tutorials. I myself, when I don't feel hesitant about learning tools at all, because there's so many tutorials out there. Webflow has Webflow University, Figma, hundreds.
They have the official channel.
Has their own official channel, as well as so many creators have already created Figma tutorials. Take Design Palette, for example. He's created every other software tutorial that's there. It does not, like,
we can do Adobe XD September 2020 updates review video.
Damn, bro. Man. Yeah, we could do a video like that if we had to. But it would be like a review, not a tutorial, probably.
Yeah. I actually didn't know Adobe XD or even Figma releases enough updates every month that you can make it. But it's a big category.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of people doing that. But I don't want to do it, bro. It's not it's not our style. Yeah.
I mean, another thing which I had in mind, since we are talking about all this, I'm thinking we can share it with other people, is that there were times when we were thinking about interviewing founders as well, right? Interviewing folks from different fields, not just design, but also founders, developers, product managers. And we started with product managers. But then we realized that, again, the main interest of the channel viewers is design. So we have been trying these experiments, folks, and we will continue to try these experiments. What we need suggestions are towards different kinds of experiments that you feel we can do. And there are some good ideas, like we discussed about design gym or design workout. We talked about hackathons. We talked about a whiteboard conference. We have these experiments in mind and we will iterate on them. So keep dropping in your ideas or tell us what you think.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I did the description, by the way. Let me know if you can see it, folks. I just added a link to our workshop that we're going to be doing tomorrow. This is a completely free workshop. Rohan's going to conduct this. It's going to be a basics of UI design Figma workshop. It's going to be exclusive to the 10K designers members. Actually, I shouldn't have put the link. I should have put the Discord link.
Yeah.
But check this out. People who are interested, if you're in the beginning stages of your career, there's going to be a live workshop where you can do it. Mayank, speaking of workshops, we've been thinking about can we do $500 workshops, but I think that is very in line with the design conference idea. Actually, you can do a design conference, but I think for now our workshops are going to be free. You can check this out.
Yeah.
We might do paid workshops in the future, but there's no real interest for us right now to do that. Check that out.
Ashish is dropping where's Mayank's YouTube channel. Bro, I'll drop if you guys want me to start my YouTube channel, we will remove clips from whiteboard.fm. Because
I think one direction we can take, Mayank, is we remove the clips and you start doing vlogs on the Whiteboard channel.
Man. Yeah.
But I actually got some few ideas that I didn't have before. Now that we had this conversation, yeah, there's a bunch of things we can do.
Yeah, man. Because my reason for I'm currently working, my tunnel vision is towards Whiteboard and 10K and all things associated, and creating a separate YouTube channel will create bifurcation. And right now, it'll just simply mean that I would not be able to put my full focus towards that.
Yeah.
And I would only be ready to do that once I can see that it is growing and that the efforts are bringing a good ROI, which has not happened yet.
I think technically Whiteboard is Mayank's YouTube channel. It's just we need to figure out more different types of content if we're moving away from interviews. Maybe one thing we can do, Mayank, is season 4, no interviews at all. It's 10 videos, but it's something that's totally interviews. That's a direction we can think about. But I think we'll have to focus on one of these first, which is design gym, conference, whatever. Yeah.
Cool, folks. I think we've reached the end of our live stream for today.
Yes.
So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop your comments, tell us what you think. And see you next time.
Before we close this, we want to see an equal number of viewers and likes. So let's make that happen quickly. Other than that, our final call to actions, if you're watching this and you're not a part of the Discord community, it's a place where discussions happen every single day. We've created this as a way for everybody who's in the chat right now to be able to interact with each other throughout the day, other than only every Thursday. So check that Discord community out. For the Discord member, members, we're going to be doing a free live Figma workshop, which is right tomorrow, 9 p.m. I'm going to be posting the link to Discord right now as well. If you're watching this later, you should just join the Discord. I'm not sure if the link will still be there in the description. But looking forward to this. This is going to be an experiment for us to figure out what the future is going to be. Okay. See you all. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye bye.